What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 AI only tournament. We got a final qualifier today. We'll be finding out who the final three civs who will be going through to the 14 civ final. I think there's 2 European ones we have to decide between in a vote as well, which I will probably put out with this video or before this video. So that might have already come out in the community tab. Some people do miss that. It will be on the YouTube community tab. I don't think it works on tablets, so that might be an issue, but it is there if you go on your phone or on your computer. If you go on PC, you'll have to go and find the community tab. You click on it. It's sort of where videos, playlists, there's all those other things. There's an about section. I think there's another one that I can't remember. It won't show up in your sub box feed. If you are on mobile, it should show up in your feed. It normally does. So yeah, that might be different places. Some people might miss it, but yeah, it will be in the community tab as usual, where I do a lot of the posts. But this is the Asian qualifier. 3 more civs, quite a packed one. I think there's 12. Let me just check, 12 or 11. Obviously I'm included. 11 civs in the game. I'm spectating as Greece, so don't worry about them. We have got an actual Pangaea this time. Quite interestingly shaped. It's annoying because the mini-map is always the sea is always in the middle. It gives you the worst positioned mini-map. But yeah, we've got all the Asian civs. Polynesia was in the North American one. I did check before I started, so they're not here. And I did accidentally include Sweden in both Europe ones. I think they're one of the civs that had already qualified, so it wasn't too much of an issue. But yeah, Sweden, that was a mistake. It wasn't there wasn't a reason for that. I just must have miscounted by 1 or whatever. But that's fine. So yeah, we have Indonesia, Mongolia, Korea, Arabia, Persia, Japan, Babylon, China, Siam, Assyria, and India. So that will be our qualifying. I'm going to probably go into more depth than I usually do in the final. Not in this one. This will be like the normal ones. But yeah, in the final, it'll be more in depth. I'll try and work out the perfect settings. There'll probably be like a part 1 and a part 2 for the final, because there'll be a lot going on, and it'll be quite important. But yeah, for this one, we will be doing the same normal stuff. Well, around turn 200, if it's obvious that, there's not going to be a winner. We've had some where it could have probably gone to turn 1000 and nothing would have changed. We will result to score. Again, I am aware score is not the best decider, but it's the one that includes the most sort of categories, so we go with that one. But yeah, obviously, hopefully we don't get to that. Hopefully we do have go back to the first game, the Americas one, just some super aggressive civs. Maybe we're learning that the Americas just aren't as civilized as the rest of us. I don't know, but something was going on. For some reason, the Americas one worked perfectly. The other 4, we've had to sort of use score. I don't think any of them have got down to... Yeah, no. And I mean, that Europe number 1 game, or maybe it was Europe 2, one of them was just ridiculous. There was just 4 civs. We only needed 1 to die, and they were just sort of staring at each other for over 100 turns. It was ridiculous. So hopefully we don't get that. But straight away, we'll get some second cities in. Mongolia with theirs. Arabia right in the middle of the map. This is a tough one for Arabia and Babylon. They're sort of the civs that... And Siam, I guess, is a little bit as well. They are not on the edge of the map. Being on the edge is always nice because it's just one less side you don't have to worry about. But yeah, there you go. Persia up here in the northern corner. Going to be very safe, but they're going to have to break out of this corner too. Japan up here. Arabia, it's going to be unusual seeing Japan on the mainland. And this Japan, because I've been using a modded Japan for such a long time in Civ 5. Especially when I do my TSL stuff. Korea's here, Arabia with their 2. There's Indonesia with 2. China with 2 as well, Shanghai. Babylon with what will be one of the hardest to conquer cities I've ever seen right there in a CAD. Siam yet to settle. India with their second city, and Assyria with theirs. And there we go, Siam now has their second city. First of the big wonders coming through too, actually. Assyria with the Great Library, which is good for them. Some free technology and good science. And Arabia get the Temple of Artemis, which will help with food growth. Persia with a 3rd city. They're not quite the first, or at least joint. Indonesia just grabbed one as well, and they have 2 more settlers up. This is going to be an impressive one. It's still a harsh one on Indonesia. It's not quite as harsh as the TSL games, where they're on their own little island. But, I mean, their ability is still based around different continents, and obviously that's not really going to come into play here. Somebody just finished Stonehenge, I think. I missed it. I do apologise. Korea now with 4 cities, so fast start from them. And it's really... The mini-map is so awkward. I was like, Siam only has 1 city, but no, they do have 3. It was just on completely opposite sides. So they've pretty aggressively settled towards Japan. There's a lot of city-states up in this corner. I don't know why they're all bunched over there. Obviously I removed myself, which sort of upsets the balance a bit of where people spawn. I spawned pretty much exactly on that tile where India's just settled. So Hopefully it's not too bad. India doesn't have like a whole lot of space, so I don't think it's going to be too unbalanced. But sometimes, a civ, like, let me try to think of an example in this map to show you. Say Assyria didn't spawn in instead, or I was spawned where Assyria was, and Assyria was down here, then India would have a much bigger advantage. Whereas with this land, that's fair enough. Like, they didn't really have much else anyway. So, but yeah, if someone like that got missed, or I think in the very first game, there was someone like, I think the Iroquois basically got a bye again, essentially, into the final, just because of where I spawned, and once I moved myself, they were completely on their own. But that's not been too bad this time around. Mongolia already going after Indonesia. I did not even see that begin, but there we go. That was very quick. I think that's the first war. Certainly the first city to fall, so there we go. Good start from Genghis Khan. He's got a few city-states around him. Does he have... I think he has a bonus for attacking city-states too. I might be wrong. I don't think it's like the best, but I think he does have some element. Obviously using horses is very good for him as well. Babylon with the Parthenon. Okay, so Mongolia maybe overextending a bit. China has been tempted in for a war. I don't know how this will go for China, but we'll see. And we have a religion. I think that's the first. Sorry if I've missed any religions, but Hinduism in India. We haven't paid too much attention to the religions. I mean, yeah, we're focusing on a domination performance. If you use your religion to help you do well from a domination victory, then fair play. It's not looking good for Indonesia though. The fall continues. This city now dropping. And a statue of Zeus for Korea. Lots of wars now breaking out. Persia v Japan, Persia Mongolia, Arabia Mongolia. Lots going on. And a Petra for Korea. Never mind, Korea compounding on Indonesia's misery. It continues. They lost 2 cities to Mongolia and now 1 to Korea too. So they are sort of trapped in the corner here now. Not looking so good for them. Korea looking quite good. Persia is attacking Japan, but I don't know, maybe there's a chance. But yeah, look at this city's positioning on that lake and the coast. It looks very difficult. And India did hold off Assyria pretty well. I don't think they were ever under threat. And Korea grabs the Great Wall. I'm not sure about the graphics there, but it's a good sign for them that they got it in their second city. That means there's some good production here too. But yeah, that'll make them very difficult to kill, at least in the early game. Oh, Mongolia pieced out for the northern Indonesian city. Sorry, Indonesia. I think their hopes of getting to that final 3 might be run. Korea, who already got the statue of Zeus, getting Colossus as well. Very good spell early in the game. For the Koreans, a very strong technological civ, of course. We'll see if Babylon can be in the mix as well. They're normally a good civ for technology too. Oh, and Kyoto is down. There's just so much going on. This is supposed to be highlights, but for once we've got like an action-filled sequence here. Persia, very close. The problem is they can't get a melee unit close enough. This is really sad. But they did just grab the pyramids, so that will help them. Get some extra workers, although they don't have too much land, so I'm not sure if that would be the best wonder for them, but never mind. Okay, here we go. I don't want to stop talking, because I know I'll have to edit out the tiniest little bit. This should be it, yes, there we go. So the first capital to fall is not Indonesia's, it is Japan's, as Kyoto falls to Persia, and that is there's a peace deal, so Japan will stick around for now. But yeah, Japan and Indonesia, probably the first civs to lose a little bit of hope for them winning this game. Well, there was a bit of a team war on Korea from Mongolia and Arabia, and it looks like the first city is going to fall to Mongolia, so they're making a lot of progress. Korea was, though, the first civ to enter the Renaissance era, so they're still doing very well tech-wise. But yeah, I mean, Daegu here should fall, or not. Don't know. Oh no, I always forget, Kashyyyks are ranged units, aren't they? Confuse me. Maybe next turn. And there we go, Mongolia does grab Daegu. Not the biggest blow to Korea. I mean, it's not like a game ender, but yeah, obviously you don't want Mongolia getting too strong. Haven't given much of an update over the east of the map. It's been pretty quiet. These guys seem to be living in harmony. They're all sort of playing the tall game. I always forget tall and wide. I think it's tall. You know, three cities each, fairly big, apart from this one. But we'll ignore that one. But yeah, these guys sort of living in their own world. I mean, obviously that probably plays best to Assyria, assuming that we did get to a point where there was only 3 remaining civs, but that is, as we've learned, that's pretty unlikely. So you do sort of have to, you have to take a chance. You need to be one of the civs that's up there towards the end. You can't just sit around and wait, I'm afraid, and try and play too defensive. This mini-map is a complete mess. I'm just looking in this bottom corner. Obviously, I can't really zoom out far enough any more than this, actually. Just look, there's so much colour. It's just spread. Oh, there's a bit of border gore. Got a bit of everything here. It is just a complete mess. But then this side over here doesn't look as bad, and it's like the only space with some free land. Don't know what's going on, but none of these civs want to like cross the gap and come over here. There's good space here. I was expecting like some big battles on this inland lake, all that sort of stuff, but no, none of that. Maybe an Indian canal city. I mean, if I was playing this game, I definitely would have settled there, but there we go. And in fact, I spawned here, so that would have been perfect. There is a huge war just broken out in the middle of the map, really, considering they've both stacked up so many units. Arabia versus Babylon, the two fairly close not quite the closest neighbours, but, you know, fairly close neighbours on the TSL games in real life. But yeah, this is going to be a big one. I don't know if there'll be a winner, but a lot of troops could, you know, it could influence the things going on with the civs around them. Mongolia is doing so much work with their Kashyyyks on this city, but they just can't grasp the concept of a melee unit. It's really sad to see. I don't know if they've sent one, but it's been like this for a while now. It is pretty sad, but hopefully maybe one day they'll get the job done. Finally, Mongolia got the job done, so that's good news. Oh my goodness, poor China. What is going on here? Mongolia v China. That shouldn't matter too much. They've been fighting each other a lot and nothing's happened. Arabia, that's a bit scary. I would assume they would have pieced out with Babylon. Mongolia and Persia and Siam, not so important. Mongolia also piecing out with Persia there. Yeah, so China should be okay. India making some progress against Assyria. This broke out recently. I know I told you like right at the start they were at war, but they've obviously pieced out and gone again. Yeah, obviously we're gonna get things right. Obviously, if I'm just editing bits out, we're not gonna have everything. So I'll try and make it clear exactly what's happened. And Korea is doing this pretty single-handedly with a couple of boats and a bowman to Indonesia, but I think they're probably going to run out of steam now. And Assyria did actually just retake their city, but I think India did have an advantage. They look a lot bigger, even though their cities are the same size, the population and stuff. It's definitely an advantage for India. Oh wait, Babylon is also going after China. Didn't notice that one. Okay, maybe this could be bad. They've put aside their differences, Babylon and Arabia, and they're now going after China instead. Beijing and Shanghai would be very good pickups for certain civs. 20 and 21 pop, that would be very nice. If, you know, an Arabia could somehow get both or something like that, that would be game changing. So we'll see how this goes. At the moment, I mean, it's turn 106. In terms of who's going through top 3, I don't know. No clue, to be honest. I've got a soft spot for Persia. I don't know why. I think the fact they took Kyoto is really going to help them. But I would say Mongolia does look big enough to like be considered up there right now. Korea gets Jakarta, you know, maybe they'd be up there too, but I don't really know. This is very close. I haven't looked at the score, I haven't looked at the info addict, so I don't really have any ideas. I can't, you know, throw you any bones there. But, you know, just based off size, I'd give Mongolia a definite one. And I have a feeling Persia are doing well, but I don't know. That could all be a load of rubbish, to be honest. There is just hordes of damage being done. I just scrolled over this area and it was just red bubbles of numbers popping up everywhere. But not too much has changed. Jakarta is still clinging on. It's kind of an awkward one. This would be a really good city for Korea to take if they could, because obviously it is Indonesia's only city. If they lose it, it doesn't matter that they have all these land units here. They are dead. Like, they can't come back, sadly. So that would be a really good one for Korea to take. It wouldn't matter that, you know, it's far away and they don't have any units nearby or land units. And also Babylon took this off Japan. I would assume in a peace deal at some point. I must have missed that one. But that also occurred. So they've gotten a little bit stronger, but I mean, they're not, you know, they're not blowing my mind just yet. Okay, I just had a sneak peek at the score. It's close. You know, there's a couple who are a bit further ahead than others, but it's not. There's still quite a big group that could still make it. So yeah, there's still plenty to play for here. It's certainly, you know, there's no runaways just yet. There's a couple who are maybe leading the way, but not running away with it by any means. I have no idea what to vote here. Normally I repeal what they voted. Oh, okay, we'll repeal the banning of copper. There we go. Then it's still their choice. You know, they banned it. Just make the same choice again. That's not too bad then. Sadly, if I have city-states in, I can't do the embargo city-states that I always just normally sort of can do on the TSL games. I think this is the longest we've gone where all the civs have survived. So that's, I don't know, that's probably worse. We didn't want that, but there we go. It's where we are. Who would have thought? The civ's not aggressive at all. I don't know what it is about TSL games. They're way more aggressive in there. I mean, this is a bit weird, but whatever. Korea should grab Jakarta really soon. Like, I'm sure. Although their privateer just died, so we might have to wait even longer. Well, it's all falling apart for Assyria. They settled here. I assume they held it for a couple of turns, because I didn't even know it was there, and it's fallen to India. And as I clicked over to see that, Azure is also, or a share, I think I was told that's how you pronounce it. Sorry, if I got it wrong. I think it's a share has fallen. So Assyria probably going to be the first civ eliminated. Probably jinxed it for them. A couple of ideologies being picked. Always a good kind of way to judge who's doing well. So order for India and autocracy for Korea, the first ideologies. But yeah, India looking quite good out here in the east now. And World's Fair, Persia leads the way in that. Then Mongolia, Arabia, Siam and Korea getting silvers. No bronze awards. These guys didn't try. I feel that's a bit harsh on Gandhi, but maybe not. Oh, he needed 117.25. He got 116.65. That does suck. Do feel for you there. And there we go. India does complete the elimination of Assyria, so they're the first civ to go. And India looking quite good now. They were certainly one of the better performing civs anyway when I looked at score maybe 35 turns ago now. But yeah, that will certainly bump them up the list. They weren't one of those couple that I hinted might be leading the pack. So yeah, that's going to make it quite interesting at the top. And obviously, yeah, the removal of Assyria completely by them. Probably the biggest success we've seen from a war. Really, I mean, Mongolia v Indonesia early on was pretty good too. Siam, I've not really spoken about you, but there you go. You're in a couple of wars now. Best of luck. There's some really awkward borders in the middle here. I think a lot of them will be safe for a while, but once we get to that later technology stages, things get easier. Persia has made some progress, grabbing Tokyo here off of Babylon, because of course they took it off Japan, but Japan is still in the corner, not looking too great tech-wise, but they are. I don't know what's going on here. Little three-way sort of fight going on. But we'll see. They are involved in that. Not sure they will come out on top, but we'll see. Okay, it's very close at the top. I just looked at the score. There's two sort of around 1,000 points, pretty close to each other, like 5 points in it. And then there's two that are about 5 points again in third and fourth at about the 950 mark, so about 100 behind. And then there's a couple, 2, 3 more, sort of 800. So yeah, this could be definitely the closest game so far when we get to what sort of that turn to 100 point. I also looked at the demographics. You've got Korea leading for military size and technology. Obviously those things sort of linked. I don't think their military actually looks the biggest, but it is. Arabia is the biggest population, 29 and 24. That does make sense. And then who else was up there? India was the biggest for land, and then Mongolia was winning production. And two of the other things, crop yield. Oh, that score. There you go. No, you weren't meant to see, we didn't need to see that. The graphs are too confusing. Like there's 3 green lines. It doesn't really help. There's 3 green sieves. But yeah, Arabia leading pop, crop yield, manufactured goods, economy. That was the one. Mongolia leading that too. India then land. Approval isn't too important, but Persia's there. Korea leading the other two. Sadly, no real insight into who's in last place because I'm there in the cold submarine, just spectating. Someone's managed to settle some stray island. There's Mongolia. Oh, and this poor city-state not having a good time. India, though, are still rolling on. Now it is Siam's turn to run into some trouble here. Not much else has happened. We're getting towards the early modern era. Korea's leading the way, artillery. So yeah, we'll see what happens. And they might just finally get Jakarta, but I won't get anyone's hopes up just yet on that one. And there we go. India grabs this city off Siam in the east, a pretty big one, and Korea grabs Jakarta. There's so many rivers running into this city on the minimap, and they all come to this little spot. It's so weird. They spread out all the way across in different directions. All end in the same place. That's pretty cool. But yeah, Korea grabs that. Indonesia eliminated, so we are now down to 9 civs, if you take, obviously I'm one of these 10. 9 to go. Only 3 can get through. So we'll see. Okay. Mongolia just took Shanghai in a peace deal. That's huge. So Mongolia and India probably looking good right now. I think it's a bit closer for the other spots. Again, I haven't checked for a while, so I'm not 100% sure, but I would imagine those two are doing pretty well right now. Starting to see some planes, which is always good for those civs that have them. Arabia, Mongolia, Korea, surprisingly not. I'm guessing they don't have any oil. Who else? Has anyone else got any? Doesn't look like it. I'm surprised India probably doesn't have the technology. They did start late. Now they're obviously huge, but they weren't so great at the start. But yeah, they should have oil. I mean, look at the size of them. Plenty of sea tiles as well, so that's a really good chance. Big wars broken out, or fairly big, between Korea and Persia. Could be pretty decisive in the fight for third place if cities were to fall. I think definitely they're right up there in the mix to qualify for the final. So yeah, if some cities start to fall, that would be really big. And obviously, noticeably, Persepolis, the Persian capital, is pretty close to the Korean border there. So yeah, it could get pretty messy. well, that happened a lot quicker than expected. I didn't even notice. Korea does grab Persia's capital and puts themselves with a big step towards a place in the final. That's huge. Obviously, they're not going to hold on to it straight away, but even the damage can be pretty significant. So we'll see how this goes. There's about 31 turns to go of normal time. Depending how it's going and how close the scores are, we might give them a little bit longer, but we will see. Mongolia probably about to get a double kill on these city-states. Oh, very close, but they did grab Vilnius and Valletta. Should be dropping soon. So they're expanding still trying to stretch the lead for themselves. I think they're in the lead. Let's have a look. I know. Yeah, no. What am I doing? Wrong buttons everywhere. We will have a look since I can find the right button. It was already here. But yeah, they are quite far in the lead now. And yeah, I think Korea's probably wrapped up third place. It's always exciting to keep seeing what happens. But yeah, they are battering Persia, who was fourth place on that list. So obviously Persia's score's going down. Korea's is going up. Here's text, just for anyone who's interested. Korea sort of leading the way, 58. 57 though, so pretty close. Arabia just behind them. It's a shame Arabia aren't doing better, I guess. They're all sort of stuck in the middle of the map. Maybe they could benefit on the fall of Persia. I don't know. But it doesn't look like they're doing too much at the moment. China, then with 55 at the bottom of the map. Siam, 53. Persia, Babylon and Mongolia are all sort of tied on 52. India at 50 and Japan obviously starting to fall a little bit to the wayside at this point. I'm not sure how long they've got left. Capitals dropping all over the place. Korea have held on to Persepolis for a bit longer now, but India very briefly held on to Sukhothai there, and Japan had already lost Kyoto, actually, which is their original capital, but Osaka, that's been their temporary home for a while, has now fallen too. That was well timed. So Japan, actually no, they are still around. They have managed to grab some cities down here somehow. Didn't see that, but there you go. They survived for now, but yeah, not much left. And Arabia has conquered a city-state in Melbourne. So they've finally grown. Look at the population. They've finally got some more room for their people, I guess. And Japan actually recovered this. I guess their units survived, obviously, with those extra cities. But yeah, I'm sure Persia will take it again, and it should be near the end. But it's how much of it can Persia hold on to, I don't know. Korea is starting to really get through this pretty quickly. And that should almost certainly seal our top three. Even though it's been fun, we'll keep going for the next 20 turns or so, even though we've gone well over the time limit again. Luckily, the final will be more in-depth. We'll be looking at info addicts, all that sort of stuff at turn sort of intervals. Among other things, it'll be the most civs in a game as well. And yeah, I'll just be trying to have more fun with that. Not more fun, what's the word? I don't know. Go more in-depth, do some things with it, have a look. The religion, all of it. We'll be treating it really seriously, basically. Like we do everything, of course, on this channel. When do we ever lightheartedly look at things? But yeah, we'll treat it very seriously, I guess. And India gets the job done again. Now, I mean, Siam could come back. They still have some units around. But for now, at least, it's not changed colour yet. But Sukhothai is an Indian city for now. And Mongolia are going after Arabia, which is pretty big. They actually have a really big border now. But Shanghai not getting the best start to that war. Well, Persia, the tables have well and truly turned. They have now got basically the exact same cities Japan was clinging on to for a long time, and they're also probably going to lose Tokyo, which means they will literally just be in Osaka, so they will actually end up being worse off than Japan, who at least had these cities to fall back on. But yeah, this was really quick. It came out of nowhere. Something we've been missing, I guess, in these games are these wars. Normally the AI's just not done anything, so I guess this has been quite refreshing. Not for Persia, obviously, but for viewers and myself, of course. Oh, and okay, Babylon's at war with Arabia too. Don't know when that happened, but there we go. And Kyoto did fall. Wait, where? I'm getting so lost. Where is Tokyo? Oh, and then Arabia got Tokyo off Persia. Okay, yeah, I'm getting confused. Yeah, that was Persia had this and they lost it. I thought it was this city. Never mind. They're anagrams of each other. You can get mixed up. Tokyo, though, falls to Arabia. Arabia loses Shanghai to Babylon, and probably going to lose Melbourne to Mongolia sooner rather than later. And Persia is gone. That was, didn't take too long, maybe 20 turns. Just Korea won out there. Now, all of a sudden, I was like, Korea, they're probably just about edging third place, maybe behind Persia, but now they are solidly up there, if not even higher than third. But yeah, I think the top three is pretty secure at this point. Korea 1,198, Mongolia 1,660. They just grabbed Melbourne off Arabia too, and 1,639 out in front is India, who have sort of been ignored because they've not really been doing anything. On the other side of the map, at least, oh look, the mini-map's fixed itself. I reloaded the game, took a break. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, Arabia, I guess, kind of missing out, but I mean, they're over 50% behind some of these civs. I'm surprised by China that their score's not better, because China's actually looks pretty strong. So I don't really know, but yeah, they're not really doing that well on score, obviously. Right, here we go. We've reached turn 200, which is like the cut-off point. I was sort of in my head in case things just, yeah, we weren't down to 3 civs. As you can see, there is currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 civs remaining, so we sort of got halfway there from where we started. We lost, well, Japan still hit 2 actually, so that's 8. We did lose Persia. Assyria went early on, that was quite a while ago. Did anyone else even get completely dead? Indonesia died off, and I think everyone else did make it to the end. Persia went. I think everyone else is still here. But yeah, score-wise, it's not even close. Well, the top 3 are actually really close, but they are nowhere near anyone else. These 3 are all within sort of 50 points of each other. Korea has now actually shot into the lead. But yeah, Korea, Mongolia, and India will be making the finals. Korea and Mongolia, not big surprises. They normally do well in AI games. Or normally one of the 2 will do well. India, a bit more of a surprise. Never seen them particularly do well in my games. Obviously, this wasn't TSL, so maybe that set them up better. I don't really know. They just seem to have a good time over here in the East. And they will now also be in the final. So our lineup is pretty much confirmed. I've just got to put out a vote. I'll be putting that out. I think it probably would have come out at the point that this video has come out. But it will be up. If you want to pick, I think it's between Sweden and Rome or something like that. It might not be Sweden and Rome, but it's Sweden and somebody or two of the first European civs. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. Be sure to subscribe as well if you are new to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.